not to help the people. And I'll say again, no, it's been often said, your concern is just to bring discomfort, my friend, and your policy is just a little red. Now ain't I right? It matters not to you how people suffer, and should they, you consider that a gain. You bring a lot of trouble to the town and then you leave. That's part of your communistic game. I detect a little communism.
Right.
I can see it in the things you do. Communism, socialism, call it what you like. There's very little difference in the two. Now ain't I right? Your followers sometimes have been a
military camp.
There's even been a minister or two.
Any flags up?
A priest, a nun, a rabbi, and an educated man
Range none.
have listened and been taken in by you. All the country's full of two-faced politicians who encourage you with words that go like this. Burn your draft card if you like, it's good to disagree. That's a get acquainted communistic kiss. Now ain't I right? One politician said it would be nice to send some blood and help the enemy in Vietnam.
Let's see.
That's what he says, here's what I say, let's just keep the blood.
Thinking we can get into this building, get into the lake. Perhaps we can circumvent the death walls. Barrel cactus. Nice.
Protesting those who want to fight for freedom, my friend. This kind of leader makes our country weak. Now ain't I right? Let's look and find the strong and able leaders. It's time we found just how our neighbors stand.
Wait.
If we're doing this war
Against
with
y'all.
communism, let's fight it here
Ah.
as well as Vietnam.
I think I'll take my power armor
Let's
off.
rise as one and meet our obligations. So communistic
So I changed to
never try.
such an outfit.
Across the fields of freedom that
Yeah, there we go.
given to us with the blessing of our great almighty God.
When you take a grenade launcher, it's fun, but it's not very practical.
The blessing of our great almighty God.
Take that. They're not going to miss these too much. Okay, Veronica, if you can take these pots.
You're making me carry the heavy stuff, aren't you?
Just a little pot. Nothing big. Can't golf. Heard about this place.
They were trying him for spying, or the Soviets he flew in the famous plane.
Patrolling the Mojave almost makes sense this time. We're a winner.
Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter.
Fair enough, fair enough. Kind of center of something.
All across the foreign waters in the state USSR for the Lubyanka prison.
There's a ranger up there.
In that godless land of Russia, in that veil
Looks like we booted the Legion out of Nelson. About damn time.
Still making the rounds that years. So, night rangers there.
Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter.
Let's get inside at least.
in the future
Can.
page of history, in the ages yet to come, when free men speak
Ah, a queen size bed. Don't mind if I do. Ah, okay. Well, that's not such good shit.
When I got this assignment, I was hoping there'd be more gamblers.
Another pot. Hot plate. Take this little pot, please, Edie. Oh, Teddy. How nice.
Significant song of social protest. You can dance.
Chief Hanlon and NCR Ranger. Bunking up together. Okay. Might as well take a sleep. I need something to drink soon, I think. Ah, up bright and early. Well, it looks like Chief ain't up. Might as well talk to him when I get a chance. All these, seems like some will of vengeance. A vendetta against ceramics went through here.
Here comes the dramatic part now.
I remember it well, my darling. The night we had our fight. You threw my class ring into the grass as we sat in the park that night. We were kissing, dear, and making out up when we saw the blinding light.
Safe here, but it can't be open.
You weren't with me, dear, when they locked that shelter tight. You went back for my class ring where you left it in the pot. Now when it's on your finger, dear, it glows in the dark. You're my radiation, baby. You're my
Some working water facilities down here. NCR trooper, you bring democracy to this land. Yeah, democracy. Sure. Why, I knew I'd keep to myself. Yeah, let's talk. House lives. More of these. Right, so what the hell's that? Looks like seems familiar. Very familiar. Okay. There's nothing to drink in here. Maybe outside I have to go. Maybe I'll take some directly from the lake. Be surprised what you can drink after living in the wilds for 40 odd years. Well, not the wilds, but traveling out a lot.
Simple plans for building inexpensive home shelters are available free from your Civil Defense Office. Ask for a copy of the Family Fallout
Let's
Shelter.
talk to Chief Hanlon. Why not?
I'm occupied at the moment. Come see me when I'm on the balcony.
On the balcony. Right, well. Let's wait for him to get on the balcony, I guess. This is open terminal. Not much point to that. Ah, this balcony out here, I guess, through this door. That's blinding. Oh, that is quite a view, if I do say so myself. Did you just go out there when I went in? Yes.
Back west, you don't see too many of these. Lakes, I mean. Natural or man-made. Any kind, really. We neglected the dams or pumped all the water out a long time ago. Owens, Isabella, the San Luis. drained the aquifers of everything they had. Just a lot of mud and dust now. It's a different feeling watching the sun come up over the water. Takes some getting used to. But if you're here long enough, it starts to seem normal. That's what a ranger's life is now, looking east. You must be the courier folks have been talking about. Word on the radio is that someone wronged you back in Good Springs. The Mojave has a way of burning decent people up, but it sounds like you've done right by the NCR. It's appreciated. Now, what can I do for you?
I'm gonna stop talking. How is the NCR doing?
Even Caesar knows that General Oliver's coming back to Hoover. Colonel Moore's doing a fine job of running things over at the dam. In her own way, of course, when she's not trying to wrangle my Rangers into helping her. But just keeping that dam secure and operational day to day is enough work for one person. Never mind building a defense against the Legion.
Colonel Moore's way?
The Colonel's an effective commander, one of the best. But she sharpened her claws on the Vipers and the old Jackals. Did 4 tours against the Brotherhood, too. She used to be a ranger until an injury took her out of action. Happens to a lot of us, unfortunately. She's better at making graves than making friends. Bring in Moore and the earth will be raised. Fields will be salted.
Is Moore in charge of all the NCR troopers out there?
No, and thanks to General Oliver for that. Colonel Shue is at McCarran. Most of the new Vegas troopers are under his command. He's more sympathetic to the locals than Moore. Now that the fiends aren't giving him grief, we should see more troopers assigned to the front lines. Good work on that, by the way. Hope you got good bounties out of it.
Yeah, I did. What about General Oliver?
Oh, well. Now you'll have to excuse me. The General and I don't always see eye to eye on things. Maybe it's best that I just say he's a trooper, through and through. The man will not give up an inch for anything, least of all to the Legion.
Let's talk about something else.
Shoot.
Tell me about the Rangers.
I could tell you a lot if you had the time, but at my age, I'm not sure which of us would get tired first. What do you want to know?
How long have you been in the Rangers?
Oh, well, I guess it must be coming up on 40 years or so. Back before a lease was cheap, anyway. It was a heck of a lot harder then. Weren't as many of us to go around, but I think it was a lot easier to tell the good guys from the bad.
Oh. Have any good stories to tell?
Suppose it depends on what you think's good. Most folks want to hear about Hoover Dam and Boulder City, but it's a long story. If you want some tall tales about hunting down slavers or busting up gangs, talk to one of the younger Rangers.
So what happened to Hoover Dam and Boulder City?
In big battles, Caesar deploys his legionaries in waves. Recruits up front, prime soldiers behind the recruits, old guard bringing up the rear. Opponents wear themselves out dealing with the first 2 waves, if they survive that long. When the veterans step up, there's not much fight left. Caesar can adapt, though, and when required, he can run any mix of legionaries as skirmishers, but still retain order in the ranks.
Okay.
Joshua Graham, Caesar's old legate, he wasn't so flexible. When the Legion attacked Hoover Dam, General Oliver ordered his troopers back to the middle ground just after first contact. Graham pushed all of the legionaries onto the dam, filling the east side with recruits up front and veterans in the back, by the book.
I think I see where this is going.
But once they were in, they were stuck there. Oliver's troopers were entrenched and wouldn't give a foot. That's when we ordered the Rangers and the 1st Recon sharpshooters to start picking off veteran Legion officers from a high ridge west of the dam. That only lasted about a minute before Graham ordered the back ranks to push through to the front and rush the ridge.
Oh.
Caused total chaos among the younger legionaries. Oliver's troopers fell back to the side walkways and stayed out of the veterans' way. By the time the veterans got to the ridge, we were already in Boulder City. They followed us down there, but we were out before they realized what was happening. We had packed the old city with C4 and dynamite. Crude, but it did the job. Those who didn't die in the blast were in no position to mount a defense. The ones left on the dam didn't know what to do. The troopers routed them. Graham pulled the remaining legionaries back, but the battle was over. He went south, back to the Grand Canyon, back to Caesar. And that was the last we saw or heard from Joshua Graham.
Oh.
Shoot.
What do you know about Caesar then?
The best of the best, worst of the worst. He came out of NCR, one of the followers of the
Oh,
apocalypse.
that makes...
Like a lot of the followers, he went out in the wilderness with a partner to try to help those who needed helping. Not much different from how the Rangers used to be, except with books and medicine instead of guns.
Where'd he go?
Out to the Grand Canyon. He met a missionary from Utah, a man by the name of Joshua Graham. Graham helped translate for the followers and the tribes. All three of them got nabbed by the Blackfoots down there, back when they were still at war with every other tribe in the Southwest.
How did the follow-up wind up becoming Caesar?
Somewhere along the way, he realized he needed to educate the Blackfoots or they were going to get wiped out with the rest of the tribe. Showed them how to use guns, how to make explosives. Once he taught the Blackfoots a thing or two, they needed him. And he no longer needed the followers, NCR, or anyone else. He decided he could remake the tribes of the Southwest whether they wanted it or not. He became Caesar, and Joshua Graham became his legate, his right hand. That's where Graham stayed until Hoover Dam.
What happened to Graham after Hoover Dam?
Losing the dam was the worst defeat the Legion ever suffered. Graham had been with Caesar since the beginning, but he had to set an example. The Praetorians covered Graham in pitch, lit him on fire, and down into the Grand Canyon he went.
That was the end of Graham.
It's not that clear cut. You have to understand, Graham was the toughest son of a gun anyone around these parts had ever seen. Before Hoover, we had 5 kill reports on Graham from Rangers and 1st Recon sharpshooters who tried to take him out. Some folks think he's still alive. Call him the Burned Man.
Well, it's disturbing. But are the Blackfoots part of the Legion?
Yes and no. The Blackfoots don't exist anymore. Just like any other tribe that gets swallowed by the Legion. Caesar takes the tribal out of the tribe. Scrapes and burns off tattoos, breaks up families, forces mixed breeding so all the old loyalties die away. The only tribe in the Legion is the Legion. Caesar is their chief, father, and God, all rolled into one.
Oh, let's talk about something else.
Shoot.
So what has Legion been up to?
Intel says the legate's coming. Lanius. They call him the Monster of the East. If he's half as bad as Graham was, we're in for a heck of a fight. With Caesar and a new legate here, the Legion's not going to fall for the same old bag of tricks.
Was Graham a good commander then?
He wasn't a brilliant strategist. Wasn't tactically flexible either. There was something about him, though. Menace. Indestructibility. He made everyone afraid of him. Heck, the Praetorians burned Graham 4 years ago, and some of the tribes are still afraid of him. They say the Burned Man still walks the land, blackens the earth wherever he sets foot.
How bad was he?
He was a missionary from Utah who hooked up with Caesar at the Grand Canyon, became his translator. Graham helped Caesar with the Blackfoots after they got captured together. Up until Hoover Dam, he was Caesar's legate. You wouldn't think a man of God could turn so brutal, cruel to his opponents. Did the sort of things that makes you sick to talk about.
Why did they call Melanius the monster of the East then? Is he as bad?
Oh, the usual reasons. People say he's enormous, carries a big sword, chops people's heads off. That's not what makes him a good commander, though. Folks say he came from a heck of a tough tribe. It took Caesar a long time to conquer. It was thanks to Lanius. But once Caesar broke him, he was born again. He'll go anywhere and do anything to win. Legion says he can smell weakness. Once he finds out where an army's vulnerable, he'll go to it like a dog for the throat.
Let's talk about something else.
Shoot.
What about you?
Folks around here call me the chief, but handling's just fine. The Rangers run themselves pretty well, but I try to lend a hand. Mostly administrative work, helping coordinate intel on the radio. That and keeping an eye on the fires growing across the water.
How do you coordinate the intel?
It's a simple system when it works. Patrol Rangers radio intel to ranger stations. Comm Rangers send the intel up the station chain until it reaches Camp Golf. Then I or one of the other Rangers on duty organize the data, evaluate it, and send information to camps or troopers in the field.
Why don't the ranger stations send the intel directly to the troopers?
Comm Rangers might have an incomplete picture of the situation. There's a lot going on out there. Intel needs to be coordinated through Golf so we can verify and advise appropriately. Troopers have enough to deal with. We don't want them questioning their intel.
Oh, I'll leave you to enjoy the sun then.
Adios.
Nice enough guy. Still gotta find something to drink. Definitely gotta find something to drink. I'm gonna get out to the lake. Go to the ranger station so I get a chance, but these Deathclaws make me a little hesitant to go too far out. Yeah, I gotta have something. Should stave hunger off. Well, I don't remember there's a campfire up front. Not one out back though. Gonna cook the skekko meat. That's some more of it. Goes to pot full. Right. Yeah. Some troopers lazing around. It's quite a do you got there.
Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear.
Morning.
Ah, there's the campfire. I'll have another one if you don't mind. As well as some pork and beans. Okay, so we found Lake Las Vegas. Just here, a bit far from Lake Mead. Now, I think we're gonna have to got a repriever on. I've got lightweight clothing. Don't think I can swim around too successfully without it.